need to check your trauma, not me.
If you don't feel like you can trust somebody in a relationship, then you shouldn't be in that relationship with them.
I am not your ex. I am not the one who cheated on you. Oh, because we're married, we're just gonna stay married, and you can dog me out all you want.
If you want to be with the woman, be with the woman. Don't sit here and say you're gonna be with her and still be messing with Carisha and Sean Kwee and them.
If you do not have it in you to forgive a cheater and not always hold it over their head, you should never take one back. Hey guys, I'm Haley.
And I'm Money. And welcome back to
Ask the Blacks. This makes episode 3. I'm really excited about it. Now, this inquiry, instead of coming from Instagram, it actually came from TikTok. I've read some of it, and I'm a little bit behind because they sent it last week, it looks like.
Okay.
But here we go. It says, hey girl, I love your videos. Appreciate it, boo. I don't know if you made a video about trusting your partner yet, but trusting your partner with your boundaries regarding their ex, looking/following people from their past, and when those boundaries have been broken, what to do, especially after forgiveness and moving forward. I don't know if it's trauma or if I'm gaslighting myself into thinking it's about me and my trauma, but I find myself thinking I'm insecure even though I've never been so about other women. My partner has apologized, unfollowed people, and does action things to help me trust, but I have yet to 100% trust that they aren't doing sneaky things. I've asked for their phone in the past, and we've moved past doing that. Maybe you have some insight about what to do, what to say, how to not allow boundaries from my past being broken make me an insecure woman. How do I address my fears again?
Okay, so what I'm going to say to that is, and it's really going to be short and sweet, honestly, if you don't feel like you can trust somebody in a relationship, then you shouldn't be in that relationship with them. Because I know that's got to be hard.
Yeah.
And gotta be so tiring to be thinking that they're always doing this and that or being sneaky or doing whatever and whatever's got going on. And I understand her man is, he's like, okay, well, yeah, let me show you since I'm not doing that and I'll show you this and that. But at the end of the day, why should you have to live your life in your relationship showing everything that you do or trying to prove yourself to your significant other? That should have been proven before y'all got together, that you were a trustworthy person and was honest enough to be, honest in a relationship and only be dealing with the one person. So I feel like maybe she's not ready for that relationship or ready to be in another relationship in general.
Well, what I got from that is the person she's in a relationship with has done something sneaky before, and she's had some things happen in her past. And here's the thing. I don't feel like you gave enough clarity on the sneaky aspect, because it's one thing where, like, what I think is wrong, low down and sneaky may not be the same thing as you.
Right.
So, for example, when it comes to who you follow on social media, if somebody has their ex on social media and they liked a photo of their ex, I'm not saying that it's something like, a thirst trap or anything like that, but have just liked a photo of their ex. Some people look at that like that's sneaky. That's crazy. That's so mad disrespectful, X, Y, and Z. I personally, it's not that deep for me.
No.
Not that, we don't have any exes that we follow or anything like that. But that scenario in and of itself doesn't scream red flag.
No.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I just really need to understand, what exactly do you mean by sneaky? Now, if we are talking about messaging exes, messaging other women on social media, commenting under women's page, if it is DMing people, if it is leaving emojis on their posts, or you have a habitual practice of being under and liking certain like thirst traps and things of that nature, I fully understand being uncomfortable with that. But to the degree of, I need to check your phone, I need to do this, that. I've said this from day one in our relationship, I'm a little lazy. I'm so serious. If I gotta check your phone, I don't need to be with you. If I feel like, oh my God, I need to do this, then immediately you're not the one for me, and I don't want to do it. Because if I'm with somebody whose actions, and the actions for me that would constitute me having that type of desire and wanting to do that, will be my fear of your infidelity. And if I fear that you are going to be unfaithful, then I do not trust you. And if I do not trust you, I should not be with you. Now, if he has broken that trust through cheating, and whether it's emotionally or physically, if this is somebody I am dating, I'm ending the relationship. I'm quick to dip up out of there. I'm not saying that it makes it better if it's your husband who cheats. I'm not saying that at all, but there's higher stakes when I've intertwined everything spiritually, legally, and financially in with this person. So obviously I have a higher stake of just bouncing. So I might want to work through that a little bit more.
It's also different if they did cheat, you guys, and then you guys work through your differences. But when you work through your differences and when you got back, you're doing all these things and checking all this and that, because obviously you haven't worked past the differences.
Yeah.
If you still are going to have to check behind everything he does, or you feel uncertain whenever he's gone somewhere for too long, like longer than expected, or just anything of that nature, then you haven't worked past the things that broke y'all up the first time, and y'all probably shouldn't have got back together in the first place.
I will say this though, it's still a process. Some women and men will take back cheaters and they use, well, you cheated on me, that's why I act like this, as an excuse to be toxic. But the truth is, and I stand on this wholeheartedly, if you do not have it in you to forgive a cheater and not always hold it over their head, you should never take one back. No. If you are throwing up in that person's face all the time, you cheated, y'all don't need to be in a relationship, because you cannot get past it. Yes, it is the responsibility of the cheater to prove through their actions, with their actions and their words, that they are now faithful, that they are remorseful, that they are now working toward being back in your good graces, and they're willing to put forth that effort. But it is also your job as the person who took back the cheater, the person that did cheat on you, there is responsibility on your shoulder to actually forgive them. Yes, they created those insecurities by their actions, but you chose to take them back. Yes. So now there's work on your plate also to have to work through those intrusive thoughts. Now, what that doesn't mean is you should just be like, okay, well, I'm about to go do such and such, and you gone for hours. Right. No, if you cheated on me and I took you back, there needs to be clear-cut communication. All right, I get off at 4. I'm not going to be home until 5 because I got to go grocery shopping at such and such. Like, low-key, you about to be mapping out for a period of time what you're doing, when, where, why, and who, just to make me feel more comfortable.
And who?
Like, if you out with your boys, if you going to see your mama and your daddy or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do have to take the extra step to over-communicate, to provide, like, more security than what's necessary, because you screwed it up. You dropped the ball. You need to fix it.
Initially, y'all are back in the place y'all were in when you first got together. It might be even further back, but like, you're trying to gain the trust of somebody else, so that you can have this strong relationship that's built on trust and, you know, honesty and all of those things, all things of that nature. So you may have to, like you said, go into telling where you're at, or you know, you guys might share locations or whatever, or you might FaceTime and say, oh, I'm with such and such. Send a text saying we're gonna be a little later, and let them know where you're at. Just things of that nature, letting them know that you are at these places and you're not out doing the things that you were doing before. Because if you're not, then every time you're out 10 minutes longer, then they're going to think, oh man, last time he was out 10 minutes longer, he was out doing such and such with Carisha now.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I do not recommend anybody doing that. If you're not married, and that sounds crazy, and I get some people are like, people just let their husband or wives get a free pass. No. If I'm not married to you, so there's no stake in this, there's nothing for me to lose, you just my boyfriend, oh, I'm out of there. I'm not about to do all that. Obviously, and the reason why I say it is different when it comes to marriage. So one, I feel like there's a higher spiritual stake. Not only that, we built this house. We got all types of stuff in our name and assets. So that's a financial thing that's tied to. We got all of these things that are tied to one another. So it's a heavier stake if we are if I get a divorce from you. Don't even mention like if we have kids, so on and so forth. So I'm more inclined to fix those things. And that's also one of the dark side benefits that some people say to marriage is sometimes you are going to like, all right, look, this happened, it's horrible, but we're about to fight through it, we're about to fix it, we're about to make it good all over again. Now, I don't want my words to be twisted. This is by no means any sort of excuse to be like, oh, because we're married, we're just gonna stay married and you can dog me out all you want. No, ma'am, no, sir, that's not at all what I'm saying. But I am saying my first answer is not to divorce, depending on the circumstances. But my first answer is not to divorce. And I might get some backlash on that, but that's what I stand on, and it is what it is. But that being said, if you my boyfriend and if you my girlfriend, you doing me dirty, baby, who are you? We ain't got no assets in our name. We ain't got no kids. We ain't got nothing. I ain't got no ring on my finger. Like, sir, I'm out of there. I'm gone. You don't even have to explain yourself to me. I kid you not. If you would have told me after 2 years, if I would have found out that you cheated on me, I'm telling you right now, I would not have driven to Shelby to have a conversation with you.
Whoa.
No, I literally would have fell out like real quick. And of course it's gonna take, like, I better have some evidence. But if that would have ever happened, you ain't gotta worry about me slashing no tires. Because one, I'm not going to jail for you. God is too good, and I know I'm going to prosper and be blessed, highly favored. Amen, hallelujah. So there was no way in this world I'm about to let a boyfriend do me any kind. But
see, this is what I'm saying. Y'all men out there, you got to stop acting the way you acting. Because if y'all continue to act the way you act, and y'all women send these scenarios in to my wife, then she gonna put me in y'all shoes. Stop doing it. Because if y'all keep doing this, now she throwing me in there talking about coming to Shelby. What I do?
I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is, you need to get your act together.
Facts.
If you want to be with the woman, be with the woman. Don't sit here and say you're going to be with her and still be mixing with Carisha and Sean Kwee and them. Because if you're doing that, then
they
won't you
just... Sarah or Brittany.
Okay, it can be Sarah and Brittany. But most of the time, Sarah...
It could have been Emily or Mariah.
Okay, I don't care who it is. Stop doing your women dirty. Because they get on here and they send it to my woman, and my woman put me in y'all's shoes. Y'all don't wear a size 13. I know you don't. I do. Stop doing it.
Overall, my advice to you would be, one, I need clarity on what the sneaky stuff he's done in the past. It's hard for me to really give advice on it if I don't know what happened.
And things you've experienced in other relationships.
Right.
Like that would also be something we would need to know the severity of where your trust is, how severe it is, and I say the severity in your trust, but your lack of trust for others.
But I'm not the person that you were dating.
Some people go through certain things with certain guys, and those guys that they hang around also do the same thing. So the pool of guys that they know are just like that, and they only go off of what they know. And it could be like 5 or 6 guys that they know that act this way.
But that's not my problem. Let me say this. I am not your ex. Mm-hmm. I am not the one who cheated on you.
No.
I'm not your sister. I'm not your mama, and I'm not your auntie. You saw them dog out your family, your brother, your daddy, and your grandfather, but that's not me. So at the end of the day, you cannot put your past traumas or the relationships that you watched growing up on me as if I did those things.
True.
And it is not my responsibility to make you feel better about it. You need to check your trauma, not me. And I am saying that as someone who has never seen a healthy marriage on either side of my family. I'm like, Lord, I hope y'all ain't watching this. But I'm saying that as somebody who has watched toxic relationships do some messed up stuff. But at the end of the day, he's not responsible for the stuff I saw growing up. He's not responsible for what I endured. He's not responsible for what other people have done, said, or I witnessed. Like, that's not his responsibility to help me with my trauma in that regard, to like prove that you're not that person. You are to be you, and based on who you are and who your character is, it is my responsibility to then say, this is somebody of character that I need to be in a relationship with. Now, if people are choosing from the same pool of people, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I really do not feel bad, because at some point you have to learn. If you keep dating the same thing, why do you expect something different? And a lot of times people are like, well, this is just what I saw growing up. Okay, and do you know the stuff I saw growing up? This man ain't nothing like what I saw growing up. Okay, he is completely different than any man in my family, 1,000% different than any of the ones I went to school with or was friends with. The point of me saying that is, I saw what was bad and decided to pick something better. And that is a decision. I think people use their trauma as an excuse not to get better, when in reality, and I guess I need to be a little bit more sympathetic in certain regards, because I have this mindset of, okay, well, I've been there, done that, seen this, that, or the third. It's a little bit harder for me to be like, oh yeah, I definitely understand. No, you can work through that crap. Just like I did, just like a lot of people I know did. You can work through it. You can choose to be better. Is it easy? No, it is not easy to any degree. Like, you got to put in that work. And it's not something that just happens overnight. And even in that, sometimes it's hard to have those conversations, but you got to do it. Like, everybody uses, well, it's hard, it's difficult as an excuse. Who cares? Grow up, get over it, handle it, do what you got to do to get to where you need to be. I need to be nicer, but I don't know how to not say it like, it's your responsibility to fix, to figure out, to work through. Go to therapy if you need a therapist. Talk to God, because I'm telling you, He the best therapist around. Jesus be doing His thing. But anywho.
Basically, in y'all's relationship, either you don't need to be with him or you don't need to be with anybody right now.
Right.
Until you get over your past traumas, or you're willing to take him back without having to watch over everything he does. Because if you're not going to do that, and if he's doing grimy and shicey stuff,
cut him off.
Like we say, cut him off. Don't be with him anyway. But if you are willing to take him back, if he's done something wrong, or if you're willing to date in general, then you got to learn to get over the things that you've faced in your past. And if not, then maybe you need to find yourself and, be happy getting to know yourself a little better and figuring out people and observing just other people in life and figuring out what you want in a man and what you think a man should provide for you. And then you should start dating again and figuring out what you do and don't like, and figuring out how to get over that lack of trust in others. But yeah, so all in all, like we said, either don't date or you're just gonna have to get over it. Simple as that.
Yeah. But all right, that concludes episode 3. We are going to close out with prayer.
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for blessing us with life. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for, blessing us with good weather today. Thank you for blessing us with a wonderful family that loves us and prays for us and, just helps us through everything we go through. We want to say thank you for you and for everything you've done for us and blessing us with the ability to bless others. And we just pray that we can get over, or that others can get over the hard traumas and, the past things that they've had going on in their relationships or childhood, or just things they've had to face in life, and they can just fight to overcome the things that they've had to go through. And we ask all these things in your son's holy and mighty name. Amen.
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 All right. Until next time, please like, subscribe, and cut on those post notifications.
Yes.
And again, if you want your question or scenario to be read on the Ask the Black segment, you can DM that to us. Our Instagram will be in the description, or you can send it in email. It will be in the description below. Please be a little bit more detailed on what the scenario is.
Yes.
Don't have to put too much, but enough for us to
put it all in there. All of it in there. We want to read the juicy stuff. When you're saying your name, throw it all in there.
Okay. Just give us enough detail to be able to give you an accurate idea of what our advice would be. But until next time, we appreciate y'all for tuning in on
Ask the Blacks.